Hey guys, it's Nip, and in this video I'll show you how to farm as a Tunnel 10 using an attack called LaLo, which means you're using hounds and balloons. I personally like to bring 5 minions as well. So I usually bring 4 hounds in my camps and the 5th one in CC, so that would make it pentalaloon. But you can also try quad LaLo or anything you like, but I found penta being the most reliable way. So this attack is really useful if you don't have your heroes, because you don't really need them for this attack to work, but they help, of course. So let me just go into an example right here so I can kind of explain the raid better. Okay, so I found this base, and as I have my heroes, I basically want to use my heroes to take out one air defense and maybe the queen, even if it's possible. So I dropped my king here, so he will walk up to this air defense and drop my queen when the king has come to the correct position on the base. So let's have a look. The king comes down. These channel 10 max point defenses will do a lot of damage, so the king starts kind of dying already. So the queen comes down, poison on the enemy queen, use the king ability. It looks like the enemy queen's not gonna go down, but that's okay, because my queen's gonna grab that air defense, and that's what we wanted. So what's next? As you can see, I only brought 3 hounds here, and the 4th one in the CC. And the basic idea is that you wanna send 2 hounds to 2 ADs at first. So basically 2 hounds to each of those. 4 hounds total at the start, so you can kind of overwhelm the air defenses, and then you send in loons from the whole side from which you deployed the hounds from. So basically you might wanna send the hounds to these air defenses, and then your loons would be going in from around here. So and how should you decide which air defenses you want to start the hounds on? Well, to be completely honest, it doesn't really even matter that much. You kind of want to get the Inferno towers, and in this base they're kind of like, they're not lined up with the air defenses. If the Infernos were like here and here equally behind these air defenses, I would choose to come at both Infernos at the same time, like from here, so my loons would be going at them simultaneously. Not, for example, if the Infernos were this way, I wouldn't want to be sending in my hounds here and having my air path fly this way, so the Infernos would be faced one at a time. It's better to have them both going down at the same time, so you can maybe even double freeze them. So basically I'm sending the hounds into these 2 air defenses, and the loons in behind just kind of spamming them in as quickly as I can. Let's see. So the queen's there doing work, and you also want to pay attention to these air sweepers. Basically an air sweeper means you want to use a haste spell there. I usually haste the first loons right away, so they can get there faster. And again, you want to drop the hounds from different angles to these air defenses, even though you're sending 2 hounds to both of them. So you can see hounds coming in here, and here, and here, and the CC hound as well. And the loons nicely around, like the whole side behind those air defenses. And that way they're gonna path like in a V shape from here to the core, and from here to the core. So let's see how that works out. So the haste spells come down, and usually you just wanna use the haste spells pretty quickly, just get your loons in there fast, so they can start taking up defenses that actually matter, like the Inferno towers. And we have 2 free spells, and basically we have 2 because we're expecting to attack a base that has 2 multi-targeting Infernos. So 1 freeze for 1 Inferno. And when do you want to drop the freeze? That's a problem for many attackers, but usually you want to drop the freeze on a multi-Inferno right when it starts targeting your loons. You don't want to be waiting at all if it's already like those beams are on your loons, because you don't want your loons to be saved at the last moment, because then basically a red air bomb will kill them. You wanna at least give your loons a chance and freeze the Inferno, preferably too early than too late. So as soon as the Inferno targets my loons, I'm gonna freeze it. Let's see. So now my loons are starting to get enraged. We should see a freeze spell come down shortly. There we go. And now my loons are kind of in two groups here. This big pack, I can tell it's gonna go to the core, because both sides here have been cleared out. And this pack is just kind of going on its own, clearing this side, so it's kind of a sacrificial group. I don't really use any spells on it or anything. I just need those Infernos taken out. So once that the Inferno is frozen, you usually always want to drop a rage spell on it as well to ensure it really goes down. You need the Inferno to die, so you want to basically use a freeze on the Inferno and also rage it, so your loons will certainly take it out. So a rage spell comes down, and as soon as my loons get closer to this backside Inferno, I freeze it too, so it doesn't ever even have a chance to shoot at my loons. And now that my loons are in the core, I'm just gonna have them rage up the whole time. And now I'm just waiting for my loons to clear out the rest of the base. So that's basically the idea behind this attack, and now we're left with 5 cleanup minions. And I used them here to kind of distract this air defense, but it worked out anyway. So that's basically how I do it. Let's go look at another raid here. Maybe I can find one with where I use 4 hounds and the 5th one in the CC. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so again, you can oftentimes find these bases where the air defenses are kind of in a funny shape here, kind of make like a diamond or something, this kind of 4 angular shape. So what do you want to do in this case, because you can't really choose 2 air defenses to send your hounds in from. You gotta pick one of these air defenses that are like sticking out on the side here, and basically use that as your first target. So you want to be sending in hounds from both sides of, just as if there was 2 air defenses, and basically just send your loons in from that side behind them. So once that middle air defense goes down, your hounds are going to split up to these 2. If you send 2 in from other side and 2 in from the other, if you just send them all in from, say, here, they're gonna come to this air defense from its right side and all fly here, which is what we don't want. We want the hound to split to both of these air defenses, tanking them. So let's see. So as you can see, I started the hounds from both sides of the air defense. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the Infernos are what determines from which side I want to raid the base from. I want the both Infernos to be going down at the same time, so I need to be coming in from here or here. This air defense was upgrading, so I decided to come in from here, but I wouldn't want to come in from like here, because then I would have 2 Infernos like not at the same time, first one and then the other. So now that the hounds have come down, we should be seeing some loons in shortly. And you can see here a dragon comes out of the CC, but your hounds are gonna be super tanky, and you also have that poison spell, so it doesn't really matter what comes out of the CC. I've noticed that the wizard CC is the most dangerous, so that's what you want to look out for. And here on the left side you can see I dropped a freeze and a rage already, because the Inferno was starting to target my loons, and on this side the freeze is right about to drop, so my loons will be saved. And I'm gonna also drop a rage here, just in case, to ensure that the Inferno goes down. There we go. And at this point you would wanna ideally send in your heroes to take out these wizard towers or something, but you can see this raid is gonna work out pretty okay. The most important thing is just getting your loons to those multi-targeting Inferno towers. And if you find a base that has single targeting Inferno towers, you might want to consider if you want to freeze them or not, because they don't really hurt your loons. You're gonna have like 20 loons flying over, and they can only target one at a time. So if the base is really spread out, you might want to freeze the Inferno to save your hounds, because they're gonna be flying around them for a long time. But usually I just kind of freeze like any Tesla farms or backside wizard towers if the Infernos are on single. But yeah, that's how I farm at Tunnel 10. I think we can go do a live raid here, so let's see if I can do it live for you guys. Again, I'm gonna search like for a couple times and see if I can find a good base. Okay guys, so I found a base, only level 1 Infernos, but I think this loot is worth taking. So we can see here that by looking at the air defenses, they're also kind of symmetrical around the base. But when we deploy our hounds, we always wanna select the two ADs that are further away from each other. For example, these two are further apart than these two, so we want to send in our hounds to these right side ADs so that they can't be flying from like the other first AD to the other first AD. We want the hounds proceed to the back side, and as these are further apart, there's a less chance of them switching sides. So let's see, the sweeper's gonna push my loons back, but here we go. Just gonna send in my hounds here, spamming in loons from behind them, gonna poison the queen soon. There we go. Haste spell's gonna come down everywhere. My free spells selected and ready on that Inferno. And I'm gonna rage it now. I'm gonna freeze the other Inferno and rage over that as well. And now I'm gonna send in my... I don't even think I'm gonna need my CC hound here. The base was pretty low level. Let's see. Well, maybe I'll use it just for fun. Not gonna fail a live raid. So yeah, that was pretty easy actually. The level 1 Infernos are kind of weak, but we get good loot. And yeah, that's kind of how you want to do it. You want to choose the two ADs that are kind of further apart, and in an ideal base the ADs are of course like perfectly symmetrical and the Infernos are right behind them, so you can kill them both at the same time. But usually this raid isn't designed to be even like a solid 3-star strategy, so for a farming raid this is an excellent asset for getting that Dark Elixir every single time. So yeah, thanks for watching, give it a try, ask any questions in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Nip out.